Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my cage building brother, Alex. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good now. I'm outside the cage.
They let you out of the cage?
They let me out of the cage, man.
I think we got to tell people what you did. What were you doing? I showed up at Mom and Dad's to watch El Clásico,
right.
Real Madrid, Barcelona.
Right.
And I went out into the backyard because I heard you and my uncle were out there.
He's my uncle, too.
He's my uncle. And you were in a cage when I went out there.
I was in a cage. I felt like an animal.
What the fuck were you doing?
I was apparently building a cage, and I ended up in it. Well, I guess I was following my uncle's lead. Look, quick shout out to my uncle because he's got a garden in his backyard, and he's built like cages for his plants, tomato plants that apparently these birds are going around their neighborhood and pecking at.
I tell you what, those old folks, right? For people that don't know the story, my parents moved down here about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they bought a house about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Never owned a house.
Never owned a house. Bought a house about 8 years ago with a backyard. And then my uncle and my aunt moved down here, and they went straight into a house. That was probably about 5 years ago. These old people got nothing to do but deal with their damn gardens. They're growing all kinds of shit back there, right? They're growing tomatoes and peaches and cucumbers, all figs, all kinds of things. And the bane of their existence is birds.
Birds.
I mean, I swear, I think if my dad could eradicate one species off the face of this earth, it would be birds.
All birds.
All birds.
So yeah, I mean, shout out to my uncle because he's got a thing for building, and like I really didn't know this about him, to be honest with you. Like he's a pretty good fucking carpenter.
Right.
I mean, and gardener and whatever else you need him to do. So I've known that only since he moved down here.
Right.
So it's like so yeah, me and him were helping Mom put a.
Well, it was just you and him. Mom wasn't doing shit.
Right. But yeah.
Mom wanted nothing to do with
Mom would come out there every 5 minutes, and I'm like, you don't need to be out here. Just go back inside.
It's starting to sprinkle.
Yeah.
Just go back inside.
So like I said, I was following my uncle's lead.
You were the muscle.
I was the apprentice. And so we got to build this like 7 foot by 4 foot cage. Right, it's like 8 feet in height or whatever, something like that.
Probably less than that.
Yeah, probably less than that. But so
chicken wire and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's almost complete. All we have to do is put a door in there, and then my mom could come in and out of that thing as she pleases, and hopefully, I have nothing to do with that ever again.
It's funny the projects that we get roped into, right? I went out there and I was like.
You didn't want to do shit.
I want no part. I wanted to watch the game.
Right, I understand.
And quite frankly, I just wanted no part of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't. It's funny
because...
Well,
in all fairness...
It's funny because very rarely do they ask us to do a project.
Right.
It's usually you're doing a project, and then maybe you're doing it with Uncle Carlos, or I'm doing a project, and by myself, or whatever.
Well, you know why that is, right?
Why?
Well, they want to be visited. Right? So, if we visit them at the same time, then we may go a week or 2 or 3 without visiting, right? So, 1 week...
they alternate the projects.
Exactly.
Then they get more visits.
They got sons and nephews constantly coming to their house. See,
That's a good point.
They're old, but they're fucking smart.
Plus, we always come with a kid, right?
Right.
We always bring ammunition with us just in case.
Plus, here's another thing. I don't want to be invited with you. Okay, I want Mom to cook me my own food. Okay, I'm gonna be a little greedy and say I want Mom to cook me my own food.
I'm not gonna lie, right? Mom knew I was coming, and obviously you were already there, and she had a whole bunch of milanesa there, and I was there with Eric, and you were in the backyard, you had not eaten yet, and I immediately sat down and ate because I got there just in time for the game.
Right.
It took all of my might to not eat the rest of them at halftime. And quite frankly, I don't know how Eric didn't eat them all.
Really?
Because my son can eat them. I mean, he eats them just like I do, right? Like candy, like one after another. Don't give a shit. We eat them until they're gone. It's like,
See, Ed doesn't really show his emotions towards me, but he loves me because he saved me some milanesas.
That's true love right there. Yeah,
that really is.
If you didn't think I loved you as a sibling or just as a human being, there's your proof. I don't want to ever hear you say anything negative about me. Obviously, your big brother loves you.
After seeing that, I love you too, bro.
I walked by like 3 times. I was like, oh, damn. And I knew that we were supposed to split them because generally, when I go over there, right, we bring out the table, put it in the living room, and my mom brings the whole plate. However many she's got, 10, 15, 20, 30, it doesn't matter. And she puts the whole plate in front of Eric and I. This time,
she didn't take out
she brought me a plate with 2 on there, and that was it.
See, that was mom looking out for me.
That was mom totally looking out for you.
You guys, we're going to tweet out a picture. I'm sure one of us has a picture of a milanesa.
Somewhere.
Veal cutlets, right? For those that don't know the Spanish term. And, I mean, our mom could cook 50 of them, and I might eat 10. Not in one sitting, stretched out. But I know Ed...
I'd eat all of them.
And, that makes, 40 left over? I mean, she used to cook like 50 when you used to visit from college.
When I used to visit from college, she used to make, I think it was 30.
30? I wouldn't even eat 10.
We would sit down at dinner, and it would be Mom, Dad, and myself. I don't know where you were.
What do you mean where I was home?
Okay, you had one. But Mom would have one, Dad would have one, you would have
3 maybe?
3.
Maybe.
That's 5.
Yeah.
The other 25, I would eat between dinner and then sitting around after dinner watching TV. I'd go run and get one on commercials and stuff.
And if we would play cards at night,
oh fuck, they would
tear them up even more.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can eat 30. Yeah, like
in 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah,
you average 10 milanesas per hour.
Probably. Yeah.
He ain't lying.
On
a good day?
Like on Conference Championship Sunday, right? Where you got the back-to-back games to see who goes to the Super Bowl. Right. In that stretch, I could knock out 50.
50.
Easy. Yeah.
Wow. That's 8 per hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... it's like candy.
That's a good average.
It's like candy.
We're going to have to really break down these analytics of milanesa.
Analytics, yeah. And the funny thing is, my son's the same way.
Yeah?
The only difference between my son and I is he likes them in a sandwich. So I think he actually does get filled up because he eats bread.
Right.
I don't fucks with bread.
Yeah.
I go straight butter, baby.
I like it in a sandwich too, but it's just one sandwich. And the rest I just, eat them like that.
No, I straight away, bro.
They're so good.
Oh, it's...
We're going to tweet out a picture.
And what's funny? Like, I don't think most people would find them as good as we find them.
You don't think so?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because I think Mom overcooks them a little bit. Like, she over-fries them a little bit. And
some.
Quite frankly, I like the burnt ones. Like, I always grab the burnt one. The ones that have the ends burnt. I
don't mind the burnt edges as long as they're not thin. If they're too thin, then everything's burnt.
Yeah. No, I don't care if they're thin or thick, or I don't give a shit. I just straight butter.
It's good stuff. The salad. I mean, that's always been a key dish of Mom's, right? Like a plate. It's the milanesas and the salad. I mean,
you gotta have it.
I saw this video during the week of this guy, taking his spaghetti on the fork and it hanging down, and then he was
cutting it. Yeah.
And I'm like, that is such a sin. Like, you can't do that. That must not be in Italy.
Oh, no, that guy is not Italian.
No,
that
he's not
guy's got to
Italian.
be a freaking American.
I'm like...
There's no way he's Italian, because an Italian would get a spoon, scoop it underneath, and then twist the fork.
Exactly.
And you got a nice big ball of pasta. You shove that down your gut.
I'm like, this guy's going to hell, man. Like, what is he doing?
Oh, my God, it's Satan. I can't believe this guy is doing this. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
All right, so what are we getting into on this fine episode of the Positive Sports Podcast?
Well, I think it's a good time to start talking about the NBA, right? We are quite a bit into the season now. I'm trying to pull up the standings here.
It's funny how the All-Star break is no longer during the middle, right? Like 41, 42, 43 games.
It never has been.
Never has been?
No.
Oh.
None of the All-Star games.
I always thought it was like right in the middle.
None of the All-Star games are right in the middle. The baseball All-Star game isn't in the middle. The NFL All-Star game is
at the end.
After. The hockey one's not in the middle. The MLS, they don't have an All-Star game. They just do something funky where they play against the rest of the world or some shit. Oh. That's not in the middle. It's never in the middle. The NASCAR All-Star race is not in the middle.
They have a NASCAR All-Star race?
Yes. It's like they have it, and they have it. It's a little past halfway.
I never knew that.
That's because you don't pay attention.
I never knew that. No, not to NASCAR. I don't.
So, look, the Bucks look like the best team in the NBA to me.
Are they for real?
Yes. Well, they're for real in the sense that all they have to do is get to the finals because the West is. I mean, the West is just full of landmines. There's not going to be an easy series. The West, this may be the first year that the actual first round of the playoffs will be interesting to watch in the West. In the East, it won't be. But in the West, it might be interesting because there's so many good teams. I mean, look, you've got the Lakers at the top, followed very closely by the Clippers, Denver, Houston, Utah. OKC looks good. Chris Paul is having a tremendous season.
I got something
Dallas, Memphis.
I got something on OKC later, and that I think a lot of people don't realize, and I didn't
until someone told you?
No, until I thought about it and kind of dug into it. I'm like, there's something interesting about OKC.
Well, you want to talk about the Bucks first or what?
I mean, the Bucks.
What is there not to like?
Well, for me, the question is, can they be trusted? I think that's the key question, right? Because they have the best player in the NBA right now.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
I think he's got some. The pieces around him are. I think they're playing a little better because they're better at this point this season than they were last season. I just question, can they be trusted? Can the rest of the players be trusted? Can Giannis step up in a big game in the playoffs, you know?
My one concern about the Bucks is exactly that. If a team decides that their entire defense is going to focus 100% on making sure Giannis doesn't get his, will Bledsoe do the job? Will the Lopez brothers do the job? Will Middleton do the job? What And I think they will. Yeah. I think those pieces are good enough to really, they've got Kyle Korver. There's a lot of good pieces around Giannis. And quite frankly, if you spend all of your time, if you spend all of your energy focused on stopping one man, that does not work. Because the rest of those guys are professionals. If all they get is wide open threes, they're going to shoot 50, 60%. If that's all they get, right? If all they get is, wide open mid-range jumpers, they're going to hit 60% of them. And you're going to be fucked. So, that's the problem that Giannis poses. And I think the only way to slow down Giannis is it has to be a complete team effort.
Yeah, I'm going to slow down on crowning them the Eastern Conference champs as of now because I can't really trust them. I don't trust them to the
Okay, the Alex, well, let's I'll take you one step further. You don't trust them. Mm-hmm. Who do you trust? Toronto's in second.
Toronto's
decent team.
No, Toronto has played. They've reeled off 15 in a row.
Right, but
that's a good team.
But if you take out that 15 in a row, and I know that's kind of hard to do,
and then they're returning champs.
Yeah, but they are also missing the one guy that made you trust them.
Right, but they're a 2 seed though.
They're 10 games back.
Well, that's because look what the Bucks are doing.
That's my point.
Right, but
let's go down the list even further.
We have to get there first.
Who else are you going to trust?
I trust Boston.
Boston I might trust. I think that's a good basketball team. Miami, they have to have home court advantage, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Because if not, man, that's a tough road to hoe. They are completely different on the road. And then you got Philadelphia, which
Same thing with them.
I don't.
They got to be home to win.
I don't even think I trust them at home.
Yeah,
What is going on with that team? That team confuses me. They have nights where they look like they can play with the Bucks. They have nights where they look like they don't even belong in the playoffs.
I mean, I've said it before. They're gonna go as far as Joel Embiid takes them.
I don't even think it's that.
They're not
good.
assembled right.
Yeah, Ben Simmons is not. I'm not sure what the deal is with Simmons. It's just tough. Look, Milwaukee's 52-8 for a reason, right? They are a very good basketball team, but part of it too is there's just not that much competition in the East. That's the way I feel about it. And I know you got to get through it, and injuries can happen or whatever. I understand all of that, but man, right now, it looks like an easy path for them.
I think Boston, besides being my NBA Finals pick this year, I think Boston, Jaylen Brown, we got to give some credit to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Tatum has been playing crazy good basketball.
I really like Jason Tatum.
They lose Kyrie Irving, they gain Kemba Walker, and things look like they're gelling in Boston, right? Kind of what we expected them to be last year. Enes Kanter was a good pickup. They're a little small, but
that's my fear with them.
But make no mistake about it, Smart and what's his name, Theis.
Yeah.
Theis. See those two right there. They can. I think if you put Theis and Kanter on Giannis, I think you can make him work a little bit for his points. You know what I mean? Plus, here's the thing too. When it comes down to NBA playoff basketball, teams change how they play, how they prep, and it gets more physical. And I don't know if the Bucks are that type of physical team. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So that's why I feel like, and not because I picked them, but because I just feel that the type of team that they have and how they've gelled all season, Boston is the team that would give Toronto, the Sixers, the Pacers, the Bucks, the Raptors a good run for their money.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I like Boston a lot. If Taco Fall gets healthy and can contribute also,
absolutely,
a very big presence in the, and when I say big, I mean very big presence in the middle.
7'8",
7'6" of them. I mean, the guy is ridiculous.
And look, with Philly, I mean, they're gonna have to win on the road in the playoffs. Do I think they can win on the road? Yes. But that team is going to have to win more than just one game on the road in a 7-game series. Plain and simple, right? If you can't win on the road, what's the saying? It's not a series until the road team wins. You're going to have to win.
Yeah, they may never make it a series.
So
Indiana looks good. Orlando looks good. I think both of those teams have been surprisingly good.
Indiana, not so much. I think Orlando's a surprise.
A bit, but
no?
I mean, they're still 27-33, so they're not that big of a surprise, right?
And remember, Indiana was out without Oladipo for quite some time, and they kind of stayed afloat,
Yeah, and they seem to be gelling as well. I think Indiana's a good basketball team. I don't think they can run with those big guys, right? With the Milwaukees and the Bostons.
Yeah.
And then you've got Brooklyn at the 8 seed. And look, I hate to say this on March 1st, but I think it's pretty much over. I know we got 6 weeks left. We got 20-some-odd games left, 22 games left about for most teams. But Washington's 4.5 games back, and quite frankly, Washington looks terrible. So I don't see how they're going to catch up to Brooklyn unless Brooklyn has a complete meltdown. Brooklyn and Orlando,
which is possible.
Brooklyn and Orlando are really close, right?
Funny.
I think it's a half game difference. And yeah, you say Brooklyn could implode, but
have you seen them this year? They've imploded in quite some games. Like against Orlando, they had like 20-point lead.
Yeah. But here's the thing: they're not going to get worse than what they are now. Are they going to piss games away? Yeah, absolutely. are they going to piss away a 4.5 game lead over a Washington team that is horrific? I just don't think so.
Well, I mean, yeah, I want to agree with you, but
You should.
Yeah, but I mean,
because I'm right.
Washington being 4.5 games out is not a big. I don't think that's big of a gap, especially considering they have to play teams like the Knicks, the Cavs, the Hawks, the Pistons, the Bulls, right? So they can gain some ground that way, especially if Brooklyn's not going to show up and keep 20-point leads.
I wonder what the schedule. I wonder what the strength of schedule is for those teams on the way out. Like what on the games that are left. I'd be curious to see if one of them has a schedule advantage. Orlando, Brooklyn, Washington, Charlotte. I wonder.
If I'm not mistaken, and you guys can blast me if I am, but I believe Washington has the toughest schedule left.
Well, then they're not going to make it.
From what I remember hearing. So, I don't know, man.
Brooklyn plays in the tougher division, which makes me think they have more games left with the Toronto, Boston, and Philadelphias of the world.
Right.
And they got all the gimmies with the Knicks.
Yeah.
Washington's in with Miami and Orlando, so it should be relatively easy for them. But you got Charlotte in there fighting, and Atlanta's no pushover, so their schedule must be tougher. I would guess Brooklyn has the easier schedule out of those three.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, I would not be surprised, especially considering that Brooklyn has a lottery protected for next year if they don't make the playoffs. I will not be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. And quite frankly, I'll be okay if they don't, because give me that extra pick. Fuck it. I mean, look, the Nets are not going to beat the Bucks. As of now, the Nets would have to play the Bucks.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way they're shutting down the Greek Freak.
I mean, if they let them play 7-on-5, they will.
Yeah, yeah. Just miss the playoffs.
That's crazy. Yeah. Actually, you know what? It's probably better to miss the playoffs in that scenario.
So I think the East is gonna shape out to be okay. It's very top heavy, right? Very top heavy, but
Now the West to me is much more interesting.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of good teams at the top. But even at the bottom, you've got some movement down there that could be very, very interesting. So let's start at the top. I think the Lakers and the Clippers are pretty clearly the class of the West. I don't know who would win the West if those two met up. I think it would be a fantastic matchup. I don't even think there's a guarantee that they'll make it to the conference finals, because right behind them is Denver and Houston. Mm-hmm. And I think Houston is going to get better as the season goes on. The more... I know this is going to sound crazy because they were teammates before, but this is a different James Harden that Westbrook is having to adjust to now. Mm-hmm. It's not the same guy he played with at OKC. And I think it takes some time to figure that out. They feel like they're getting on a run where they're starting to figure something out between them. Where they're starting to figure out, oh, you don't have it tonight? No problem. I can play MVP tonight. And that makes for a very dangerous situation. My concern with them is their depth, right? They don't... they traded away Capella, which it just breaks my heart, because I thought Capella was great. But they've got other good role players, right? They've got Eric Gordon, they've got Tyson Chandler, Austin Rivers is playing well.
Covington was a good pickup for them. Robert Covington.
Agreed. PJ Tucker. They've got a lot of good role players. They're trying to do it with two superstars, I believe, as opposed to the three that we've seen most teams employ here lately. But if you look at the other teams, a lot of teams are doing the two-star thing, right? In LA, it's Kawhi and Paul George, and in Lakerland, it's LeBron and Anthony Davis. And all the other pieces are kind of complementary and see how they fit. So I think the Rockets could really give them a run for their money. Same thing with Denver. I think Denver has a little bit of hangover from last year, but they've got more experience now. I think they can really make a dent with anyone. Their style of play is grind it out, and it's tough to play against teams like that.
Surprisingly, I feel the Rockets are a team to watch going down the stretch. What worries me about the Rockets is they have no height Remember,
Yes.
right before they played the Lakers, before the All-Star break, they incorporated this small lineup. Like they were playing Tucker at center or something like that. Like they went completely small ball.
If I'm not mistaken, last night, the last game they won.
Last night.
Was it last night?
They beat the Celtics.
That's right. They beat the Celtics in overtime.
Yeah.
It was the first time in like 30 years that they did not use a player over 6'9".
Yeah.
So they are a small team. That's going to be
And if you remember,
interesting to watch.
And the first game they rolled this small lineup deal against the Lakers. They beat them.
Yeah.
On TNT on Thursday night. So, and I think what that does is it doesn't. I think that benefits Russell Westbrook and James Harden because there's no one. James Harden, I give James Harden a lot of shit, okay? He's really good, okay? I'm starting to think right now that he does not fit the D'Antoni system. I don't think he's benefiting enough from the D'Antoni system. Them going small with no really true big man, I think benefits Harden and Westbrook because not only does, especially Harden, has the ability to shoot, they can drive to the hole. So that
less traffic in
right,
there.
less traffic.
You know, they've only got two guys that are over 6'9", Tyson Chandler and Isaiah Hartenstein.
That's crazy.
Both 7-footers and not in the rotation on a regular basis. So
Wow,
that's interesting. I can't.
So in the long run, and what they'll do too is it'll end up making the Rockets shoot too many threes again, and I think that's
that's not going to get you through the playoffs.
It's not good. So
it's not going to get you through 3 rounds of the playoffs.
No,
or 4 rounds, however many rounds there are to win a championship.
So like as of now, they would play Utah. I think they can beat Utah. I even think they can beat. No, I don't think they can beat Denver. Denver's got Plumlee and
no, they
Jokic.
have to play the Lakers.
Right, no, but I'm saying, like, I'm just going through the teams, like, what if they had to play in the, whatever, second or conference finals? I don't even think they can beat Denver. Denver's got 2 big men, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Utah's got Rudy Gobert, you know? Like,
Gobert.
Jeez. Go Bears.
No, Gobert.
Gobert.
You have to say it like the French, Gobert.
Fuck that, I'm going to call him Gobert. Yogurt.
You're
You know, like the Clippers got...
such an American.
I know.
You're such an ugly American.
What can I say? What can I say?
Gobert.
Is it pecan or pecan?
With cheese.
Is it pecan or is it pecan?
I tried just not to say the word, if I'm not sure.
I say pecan.
I say something else. You know, that funny looking nut. I'm sorry, keep going. Something smells good all of a sudden.
I know, and it smells like food again.
I'm getting hungry. We may have to, for the first time in the history of the Positive Sports Podcast, we may have to take a break.
Oh, no. You go get the food and bring it here and we'll eat.
Hey, look, you keep talking about Utah. I'm going to go scope it out. I can't help myself.
Yo, so, while Ed goes and he's going to eat all the fucking food. I bet you Ed comes back and he has food in his hand or mouth and doesn't bring me back shit. That's just going to be payback for leaving some of the milanesas back at my mom's house. But it's all good. So, yeah, I mean, look. The Rockets got a good team. And I don't think it's enough to go far in the playoffs. Might be able to get out the first round. Not the second round. But, it doesn't matter. Either way, I think we're on the rail to Clippers and Lakers. It's the only way that the Western Conference Finals should be, right? I mean, I want to see LeBron against Kawhi. I want to see, Anthony Davis match up with Montrezl Harrell or whatever his name is, with the Clippers. Just having all LA Western Conference Finals, so let us know what you think of the podcast. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Podbean, Google Store, Google Play, on Twitter at Positive Sports 6. Reach out to my brother at eMontana21 on Twitter. You can hit me up at Brooklyn Gaucho 1 on Twitter. Look, watch. Remember what I just said. As soon as he sits down.
What did you say?
You fucker, I smell your breath from here.
No.
You ate something.
No,
See, I told you. I told you.
So
you ate something.
No. So they're making a roast out there.
Yeah.
Is it a roast? Yeah, a roast. Oh my god. And I guess they put it on this iron skillet first and then stuck it in the oven. So
that sounds pretty good.
Just to interrupt real quick. So I run with the Texas beef team. And if you run certain races, you get points. And if you get a certain number of points every year, they send you a roast. So at the end of the year or early part of this year, they sent us a roast. And it's like, I don't know, 4-pound roast.
No.
It's not huge, but it's a good size, right?
It's good stuff.
And that's what we're cooking up right now. And it smells delicious.
That smells pretty fucking good.
So yeah, no, I didn't eat it because it's in the oven now.
Oh, okay.
But I would have.
I told everyone that you were gonna come in here, guaranteed either chewing something or in your hand, and you weren't gonna freaking bring me a piece. I was wrong.
I'll give you a piece after. Hey, look, I already spared you your freaking lunch.
I know, that's what I told him. I'm like, this is payback for not eating all the milanesas.
Yeah. All right. So where were we?
Well, I mean,
sorry to interrupt.
Nah, I mean, we were talking about Houston and how far
how freaking
they would make
professional of me to walk out on the podcast.
How they would make it not far with this midget lineup.
Midget? You can't say midget.
Yes, I can.
Short people.
What are the short people called? Midgets.
People that aren't tall.
What are midgets called? Short people.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch the midget thing.
What? Hey, man. Call a spade a spade.
So, Utah has Gobert.
Yes, Gobert.
Which is a fine cheese.
Is it?
I don't know, but it sounds like cheese. When you say Gobert, doesn't it sound like cheese?
No.
Like Gouda.
As long as you don't have bad breath saying it like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you got bad breath, that's gonna knock someone out.
Hey, so real quick, while we're on the Western Conference.
Yes, sir.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Surprise to me.
Bro, when you think about this team, Billy Donovan has been with the Thunder for 5 years.
It's been longer than that.
For 5 years, bro.
That's it?
They've made the playoffs 4 of the 5 years. Okay? Think about the players that he's had on that team. Just think about it for a minute. He had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Made it to the Western Conference Finals.
He never had Harden?
Never had Harden.
Okay.
No, that was Brooks with
Oh,
Boston.
okay, yeah. Okay, I got you.
They made it to the Western Conference Finals. Had a 3-1 lead against the Warriors and blew that. That's okay. Right. Durant leaves. Then you're left with Westbrook. Westbrook has an MVP, averaging triple-double season, right? I think they made the playoffs, but obviously they didn't win. They didn't go far, right? The following year, you pick up Paul George. Now you got Paul George and Russell Westbrook, right? And you kind of find and mind you, you got Carmelo Anthony too. Well, I know, but right. Okay, so you don't get far with that team, right? Then you end up trading away Paul George for a bunch of draft picks. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was the best player in that package deal from the Clippers.
Right.
You end up trading Russell Westbrook. You end up letting Enes Kanter go to Boston.
Right.
You bring back Chris Paul, a 36-year-old who most, including myself, didn't think he had much left.
I thought that was horrible.
I thought it was, there's no way this is going to work out. But again, maybe it's a product of the D'Antoni system. Somehow, the Thunder and Billy Donovan have found a way to be the 6th seed in the West and play really good basketball with a young team, a veteran point guard. And you know what the other common denominator is on that team, I think? Steven Adams.
A good big man.
A good big man, and he's been there. He has not gone anywhere. Yeah. He has stuck around. And I mean, somehow, I wouldn't have thought that the Thunder
it is kind of
really
surprising.
Relevant.
What I think has really helped is I think Chris Paul has really helped Gallinari. Gallinari is a forward, but he likes, he's kind of a European.
Yeah.
He's not kind of a European guy. He is a European guy. He likes to shoot from the outside. Sometimes acts more like a guard than he does a forward. And I think, Chris Paul has done a fantastic job of finding him on the floor in situations where he can shoot pretty much uncontested.
Yeah.
And, it's helped a lot. And defensively, he's really good. So that team has made it really on, I don't want to say smoke and mirrors, but it has been really kind of incredible. Billy Donovan, I agree with you, has done a fantastic job. And to me, the biggest surprise in the NBA this year is the play of Chris Paul. Yeah. Because when they made that deal, I thought, well, surely they're going to flip him someplace else that will take on that massive salary and not take that cap hit. But they held on to him, and he's not playing like a 38-year-old man, 37-year-old man. He's playing like a youngster. He's really enjoying himself leading that team. No,
I mean, when you think about all the players, I mean, these are not just players, man. These are stars, right? These are like top 10, top 15,
top 10 guys. Yeah, I don't think you could argue that Durant and Westbrook and Paul George are top 10, top 15, maybe.
15, yeah.
I mean, still,
so
that's pretty good.
I was like, wow, props to Billy Donovan.
It's been impressive. Dallas sits at 7, and quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed. I felt like they would be better, but in their defense, they have had quite a few injuries, and I think they're to the point now where they're starting to heal up, and I wonder if they're not going to make a run. I feel like they have a run in them. I don't know how high up they're going to get. I mean, they're 9.5 games back from the Lakers, so I'm not exactly expecting them to take over the top spot. But they could look. They're only 4 games out of the 2 seed, 4.5 games out of the 2 seed. They can make that up, which is crazy to think that they could go that high, and I don't think they will. But they could get to the point where they get themselves a home spot, a home court advantage for the first round. Like, they can get up to 4 where Houston is. That's only 2.5, 3 games.
Yeah, what worries me about Dallas is Porzingis staying healthy. And
apparently Doncic too, right?
Outside of Doncic, who else does Dallas have that can really pose a threat to another team and not have to and makes other teams not say, okay, we can't double team Doncic because we got to worry about such and such. I mean, there's really nobody else, and so
they've got a lot of complementary pieces that are decent, but not gonna scare you, right?
They're not take over the game type of players.
Exactly, right. So they've got. They've got Cauley Stein, they've got Seth Curry, they've got Kid Gilchrist, they've got Tim Hardaway Jr. They have other guys. That Marjanovic guy is pretty good. They've got guys that can really contribute, but if Porzingis or Doncic go down, they're not gonna step into that number 2 role,
So I think the Grizzlies who are sitting at 8 are gonna catch him. I think they're gonna catch him.
I think the Grizzlies. I don't know how to say this. I think they blew their wad.
You think so?
They had a hot stretch earlier.
They beat the Lakers last night, bro.
They
pounded the Lakers.
They had a hot stretch earlier in the year, and I feel like we're not gonna see them do anything else. I think they're. Well, John Morant is awesome, but I think they're a 500 team at this point, as presently constructed.
Like, not do anything else, as in like not make the playoffs, or
I think they're gonna. I think they're a 41-win team, and they're gonna hang around that 8 spot all season long, and they may get in if it works out. They may not. Look.
I take that back. Hold on.
The team coming. They've got some serious traffic coming behind them, because right behind them you've got New Orleans. 2.5 games back, but that's not unmanageable. San Antonio and Portland. Look, at some point, New Orleans is coming like gangbusters because Zion is the real deal, right? Mm-hmm. And at some point, Portland's got to figure something out, right? Portland is not an 11 seed. Portland is not a 26-35 basketball team. They're just not.
Right, but look, with Portland, I mean, the past couple of years they were a 4 or 5 seed, and they really they really didn't show that they were a 4 or 5 seed. They didn't do too well in the playoffs. You know?
Well, that's not true. They did well last year. They won in the first round.
Well, I think they went to the conference finals against the Warriors.
But I mean, look, they're not a 35-win team, right? They're 26-35 right now. That's on pace to win 35 games. That team, to me, as presently constructed, is not a 35-win team. Now, Carmelo Anthony's been better than expected, but he's really not gonna put everything on the board. It comes down to Lillard and McCollum. And McCollum has had a rough go of it, but he's bound to get better. I can't imagine he's going to have, he's going to continue to play the way he's been playing. They've got Whiteside. Lillard is still one of the best point guards in the league. I just think that, and this is why I wonder about Memphis, I think New Orleans, the more Zion gets integrated in there, they're going to make a move. And I think Portland at some point is going to go on a bit of a run here. I don't think they're going to rip off 15 straight. But are they going to win 8 out of 10? They're going to make that run. That basketball team is too good to sit at 11 all season long. Yeah. Just one man's opinion.
I don't see Portland. I kind of agree with New Orleans. I didn't realize Memphis was so far behind Dallas. So I don't think they'll catch Dallas. I'll take that back. I thought they were a little closer.
It really becomes a fight after that. Dallas is in, right? They're only
honestly, New Orleans is the only other team that I see that sneaking into the playoffs. San Antonio, I don't see, and Portland, I don't.
See, I think it's going to come down to New Orleans and Portland. There's only a game difference between them. I think both of them will end up passing Memphis. And I don't know who I would pick out of those two. I guess I'll take New Orleans because they have the one-game advantage right now. But I think Portland's much better. They're a much better basketball team than 35 wins and an 11 seed.
Yeah, but you know what? It's been really exciting. And this is, Memphis is another kind of out-of-nowhere team, right? Because Ja Morant is fucking making posters out of big men, and he's really been carrying that team.
That guy's the real deal. That guy's gonna be good.
So that's been pretty exciting to watch. So I think we'll see a good little race here between Memphis and New Orleans, and maybe even Portland will jump in there and find a way to get it together here towards the end. There's not much time for these teams because, like you mentioned earlier, right? The All-Star break is so far after the halfway point that when you come out of the All-Star break, you don't realize shit. There's only like 25 games left. I mean, we're at what, 59?
Right now, most teams are at 59, 60 games. So you got 22 to 24 games left.
How many games in this? Oh, 82.
Right. Yeah, 22 to 24 games left.
Wow. I mean, that's really not a lot. So,
yep.
Some teams better
get after it.
Better get after it, man.
Hey, what did you think of the? To me, it's not real.
What's that?
The whole Giannis and Harden thing.
Oh, it's real, bro. It's real.
That to me seemed
really
like
real.
Manufactured beef, so that we have something to talk about.
I mean, I don't really have much of a problem with Harden saying with what he said. Look, Giannis is a very intimidating player, okay? I think his ability to do what he can do on the court, his size, his length is really intimidating, okay? It's kind of like LeBron James, all right? This guy is 260 pounds, 6'8", coming at you like a freight train. It's very intimidating. But Giannis has to show me something. Show me something in the playoffs. Really carry your team. Go deep. Make the finals. I know Harden hasn't gotten to the finals. I know I give Harden a lot of shit, but you know what? If I had to choose between both of them, I think I'd take Harden.
Interesting.
I'd take Harden. I don't know. I think Giannis can be shut down. It's been proven that he can be shut down. I mean, Harden outshoots himself to death, but I mean, he's fucking still can throw down 40 points a game. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Look, I think both of those. I think it's much ado about nothing. I think both of those guys are fantastic basketball players, and honestly, I think they're 1-2 in the NBA right now. I mean, they're both so good. They're beyond fantastic basketball players, and I think this whole thing is a bunch of.
I think it's good, man. I think it's good for the NBA. I think it's good for us to talk about. I mean, these guys, have been MVPs the past 2 seasons. I think Giannis is on his way to winning his second straight. So, I think it's good talk, man. And it's good motivating talk for Harden, right? Because now your team doesn't have the 1 seed like the Bucks does. Your team is, the 4 or 5 seed, and maybe this is some motivating factor for himself and just trying to, rally his team, right? Because his team the Rockets are not the best team in the league, right? The Bucks are.
The Rockets have
with
some work to do.
Arguably maybe the best player in the league. So
Interesting stuff for sure. All right, man. You got anything else?
No. We're gonna wrap it up.
Sure. You got a shout out?
Your Louisville pick one. What was the score of that game?
Louisville. Did I pick Louisville?
Well, yeah, the thing said Louisville. You picked one. You picked Louisville?
I don't think so.
On the streak?
Oh, on the streak, yes.
What was the score?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me check.
Right, don't worry about
I will look for you.
I don't have a shout out, man.
You don't have a shout out?
No. Shout out myself for being me.
For doing a wonderful job on the cage?
I wasn't even talking about that. But if you want to give me a shout out for that, that's fine for me. But just being the good old Brooklyn Gaucho. That's it.
Speaking of which, have you given out the contact info for everyone?
Not the email. Just
If you want to email the show, you can email the show positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Alex and maybe give him some cage building techniques, you can reach him on
Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1. Follow me because I'm fucking tearing up the month of February. I tore up the month of January. All right.
If you want 500.
I still tore it up because I fucking won 8 of 11 to finish off February. That's impressive in the world of sports betting. I'll tell you what,
We were terrible this month.
Sports betting is fun if you just do it in moderation. Don't.
No, for sure.
Because there's gonna be a lot of downs and there's gonna be a lot of ups, but they don't go on for long. And it seems like the downs go on maybe a little longer than the ups. You just gotta
I think we've been doing this for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
December, January, February, and I think we're all right at 50%.
I'm a little better than the other two.
You're gonna make me pull it up,
bro. I'm 2-3 games better than you guys as of now, of all time.
Let's see what the all-time standings.
Follow me on Brooklyn Gaucho at Brooklyn Gaucho 1 on Twitter. You can see my my picks.
Yeah, you're 2 games over 500. I'm 1 game over 500, and Jay is 1 game over 500. Now the good thing is, if we had bet in real life, we would all be making money. Granted, we'd be making pennies on the dollar.
Yeah. Well, it depends how much you bet, right?
Well, no, you assume every bet's right, because this is we make 1 pick, our stone cold lock of the week of the month of the year.
Wouldn't call it a lock, but yeah, lock.
Right, so we would have put we would have thrown a G on it on the daily.
Yeah.
Right. Not that we have a G to play with, and I think we would have come out ahead, albeit not very much.
I can't wait for March Madness. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's always a good time.
Yes.
Not even betting; it's just sitting there watching.
Oh yeah.
Just watch one game after
the
another.
Brackets and the games, right? One after another. Yeah.
That Thursday and Friday is the best.
The best.
I love it. I don't know how anyone gets any work done. I know I don't. I never do. If you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. My shout out goes to 6 people actually. Yesterday was the U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials to see who goes to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics to run the marathon in the Summer Olympics this year. the U.S. is a gold standard country. So we have a trial where men who run better than 2 hours and 19 minutes in a marathon in the previous 18 months and women who run better than 2:45 or better in a marathon in the previous 18 months all toe the line in one race called the U.S. Marathon Trials. Yesterday, it was, I don't even know the numbers. It was ridiculous. I think it was like 215 men and 450 women towed the line in Atlanta to run a very difficult course. And for the men, Galen Rupp, Jacob Riley, and Abdi Abdirrahman, who is 43 years old, finished 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter the time. When you're a gold standard country and you have a trials, it's 1, 2, and 3. That's it. It doesn't matter what the time is. It could be the fastest marathon ever. It could be the slowest marathon ever. It doesn't matter. It's what you do on that day. So those 3 people won. And then on the women's side, Tuliamuk, Molly Sadell, and Kipyego were the 3 women that qualified. They will be representing us.
These are American?
They're all American. And they will be representing us in the Olympic marathons in Tokyo this summer, if they even have an Olympics because of the coronavirus. You know, the Tokyo Marathon was today. And they actually canceled it for everyone except the elites. So, you know, there's a lot of people that go to these marathons from the U.S. They had airfare and everything, hotel, and a lot of them just went to be in Japan and watch the elites run. It was really, you know, and Tokyo is one of the marathon majors. It's a big deal, and they shut it down for everything but the elites. So I think it was like 40 people ran this marathon this morning. 40 men and 40 women. Huh?
Would you have gone?
No, I would not go. I won't even go eat Chinese food, bro.
Man, you ain't lying.
I don't go to Pei Wei.
I am missing Chinese food right now, and I
I'm not
can't. I wouldn't either.
We got a Hong Kong cafe here in town that is delicious. Not going.
Yeah. Damn, Chinese food.
Like
I want some so bad.
I wouldn't even like pick up some Chinese food at Kroger or some shit. I'm just not doing. I'm not taking a chance.
So I go to this Asian place to cut my hair. There's not a lot to cut. They're real cheap, and
Dude, why don't you let me do it?
No.
Buzz that thing in like
no.
5 minutes.
You'll find a way to mess it up.
No, I won't.
Yeah,
Look, my hands are steady.
Like dad's.
Like mom.
Like mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
I would not go. Would you?
No, fuck no. No. I'm second guessing myself going to these to this Asian place to cut my hair. I mean, I don't know. Like if they have family members that came to visit them. I mean, what? Yeah. I don't fucking know.
They say hi or whatever, and now they come in with the coronavirus stuck to their hair or some shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. Fuck that.
Yeah, I just
hell no.
I mean, there's just no, like, for me, I'd love to run the Tokyo Marathon. I guess if I was already signed up, I might think differently. But I mean, was this coronavirus thing going on 6 months ago? Because that's when I would have had to signed up.
No, I don't think it was.
All right. I don't know. If I was signed up, I might. Because how many?
I wouldn't.
Dude.
Even if I was signed up, I wouldn't.
So you've already bought $2,000 plane tickets and you got $2,000 sunk in hotel costs?
Fucking write a letter to Trump and say, hey, man, I need a fucking refund.
What the
no,
hell do you think that's gonna get
no,
you?
You don't think if you call the airlines and explain to them, hey, this is the problem?
The airlines?
Yeah.
Dude, what do you think this is, church?
Well,
the airlines will tell you to go fuck yourself faster than fuck you.
There's got to be some guidelines regarding this coronavirus.
Unless there's a mandate from the government, I don't think the airlines have to do anything. Dude, there are some industries.
You might have to eat this one.
Yeah, there are some industries that may feel some compassion and give you your money back. The airline industry is not one of them. They're looking to screw you every chance they get. You know what it's like. Like my dad died. I gotta go fly out. Okay, that'll be $5,000. $5,000? I just told you my dad died. All right, we'll give you $4,000. Yeah. I mean, they're ridiculous.
Even if I was signed up, I don't know, what 2,000 for a hotel and everything? Airfare?
It's probably you probably have to sink 2,000 between airfare and hotel.
Yeah.
4,000 between hotel and airfare.
Yeah.
Because you can't look. Chances are, if I'm going to Japan, sure, I'm going to run the marathon. I'm going to spend a week there.
Right.
You know, eating sushi and looking at the sights and whatnot. So chances are I've got a hotel booked for a week. And now I might be able to get that money back because hotels are a little bit nicer than airlines. But I'm going to at least be out $2,000 if I don't go.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking $2-3 grand, I may have to swallow that, bro. I mean, I mean,
I don't blame people either way. Just if you went,
yeah,
because you were running the Tokyo Marathon. You know, come to think of it, I got a buddy that was supposed to run the Tokyo Marathon. I wonder if he went. I'm gonna have to call him because if I see him, I'm gonna be like,
yeah, let's just FaceTime.
Yeah,
let's just text.
I'm gonna text him before I see him.
Text him first.
Yeah, because I know I'll see him at one of these 5Ks I run around here locally. I think I'm gonna go ahead and text him first. Just in case.
I mean, it's some fucked up shit, man. This is really like messed up, right? Like people are dying left and right.
I don't know what it does to you. I just know it kills you.
Yeah.
I'm not down with that.
Yeah, I ain't down with that.
Anyway.
All right.
So
wrap this puppy up.
If y'all want to catch this podcast, you can catch us on YouTube. If you want to watch this wonderful episode, if you want to listen to it, choose your listening platform: iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, whatever works for you. You can go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Email us, hit us up on Twitter. Follow Alex's pick, his stone cold lead pipe lock of the century for today.
Century? Whoa.
For the decade.
I charge for that one.
What's greater than? What's longer than a century? Like what do you do after a century? Millennium. Stone cold lead pipe lock of the millennium.
Millenniums cost more than centuries.
That's right.
What comes
and then
after
tomorrow, and then I don't know. And then tomorrow, he'll just do it again, but it'll be a stone cold.
Oh yeah, Steve
lock.
Austin 316.
So anyway, folks, as always, ignore the negativity, be the positivity.
Peace.